Hey guys, in this video we're going to be walking through how to install the AMD version of the bracket for the Corsair H60 water cooler, and I'm doing this because I couldn't really find a good video on YouTube that shows this stuff, and I think the instruction manual isn't really the most helpful. So basically by default, this is one I just got off Amazon. It comes with the Intel mounting brackets, which I'm not using. So the way this works is I'm going to be taking off this plastic cover to protect the thermal paste on here, and then you push apart the two halves of this Intel bracket, and then you'll push on the two halves of the AMD bracket. There's this little hole right there. So basically what's supposed to happen is there's going to be a little separate piece. So these two guys come apart and it screws off just like that. And so this hook right here is supposed to hook behind that guy, just like so. So this motherboard came with the AMD brackets already put on it. So these hooks are going to come up and through there, and then you'll tighten it down by tightening this thing down. So you can't, I don't think it's best practice to do that with the screws already in. So I'm going to be taking this screw out. But before we do that, we'll be removing this. And the way I'm going to be doing this radiator is to try to make it easy on myself. I'm using 4 short bolts and washers on the backside to secure the radiator right here, and then we'll have the 120 fan on this side, and it'll be pushing air through it like that. So basically what Corsair is trying to tell you in their manual is that they just want that fan to be pushing air into that. They don't want it to be pulling air. So if your radiator was here and your fan was here, you'd want the air direction on the fan to be going into that radiator. And there's a part on here where it shows you the direction. So basically in my case, I'm going to want this fan to be an intake for the radiator. So it's going to go on this side and it's going to sandwich the radiator, which should be right there. So you guys will see all this stuff, but I just wanted to make this video to show you guys how to do this because frankly, it's not easy to follow these instructions. And yeah, so stay tuned and we'll check how this all works. Alright, so a mistake I just made is that I put these feet on the wrong way, the AMD bracket. So right now, you can see these things are pointing down. They're supposed to actually be pointing up. So to fix that, I have to just pull them out, which is always fun. Just like that. And I'm supposed to switch the direction on this thing. Okay. Hopefully that comes through like that. So that was a mistake I made. Okay. Alrighty, so just got this thing installed. I just did these by hand as tight as I could make them. I'm not going to use a screwdriver because I don't want to strip any threads or ruin this stuff, but this is what it should look like. I'm not a fan of these AMD brackets where it's just 2 pins or posts holding it down, but I try to do a little bit at a time and then just make sure that this thing sat down nice. I'm hoping that we've got good contact between the thermal paste that was pre-applied and the actual CPU itself, but that is what it looks like. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fan right here, and we can see the arrow right there is pointing in here. So I'm just going to be mounting that guy on like that, and then plugging in the fan connectors. This is a 4-pin CPU fan. And then in addition to that, the pump has its own power unit too that goes into a SATA power cable, as well as a 3-pin thing. And I'm assuming that's like light up the little thing there. So I'm going to be plugging all this stuff in, and then from there, that's it. And we have now successfully installed this AMD bracket for the Corsair H60 CPU cooler.